Sometimes getting angry is necessary, but that's not the place to end. That's not the place to dwell. And the reason is that if we continue to let our anger control us, we're going to end up making decisions that are really going to affect us down the line. We never want to be in a situation where we're letting our emotions take advantage of us. We want to be stately. We want to think about the bigger picture. There's been a lot of times in my life where particularly a family situation or a significant other has said something to me that really upsets me. Whether or not it comes from an insecurity or perhaps an argument that hasn't been properly disputed. I find myself in those situations getting a bit carried away with the things that I have to say. I tend to have some pretty spicy words. I'm not much of a physical person when it comes down to it. I'm sure some of you are like that too. But that doesn't mean that it can't hurt someone. And it doesn't mean that the message that we're trying to get across couldn't be given a better way. You might be thinking to yourself, well, there's some things that just piss me off like crazy. Look at these people littering on the street, or look at how this person treats me all the time. I should be angry at them. I should take my personal space and my personal importance seriously. And if I don't do that, who else will? I'm on your side. I'm on your side. But I'm going to give you a couple tips of how to manage that anger. When you're in a situation where someone's putting you in a rough place, these tips will help you. Anger is a good thing if you're trying to look for motivation to change systems, if you're trying to stand up for people or advocate for certain rights. You need a certain amount of anger in you in order to build, in order to push you forward. First thing I'm going to tell you, when you're in a situation, you need to have an immediate response that you can take to mitigate some of the damage that your words or your anger might do. Take a second, think about it. When you feel yourself fuming, when you feel that you're about to say something really emotional, take a second and think about it. All right, the 10-second rule might be too much sometimes. Sometimes you need to get your point across, but go a little bit longer than you usually would. It's going to make a big difference, and your message will end up coming across a little bit more seriously, a little bit more sophisticated. When you're angry for someone else, when you're angry because of a cause, realize that your anger, your emotionality towards something is important. It's important. However, like most people, don't get emotional and do nothing about it. But controlling our emotion gives us the ability to step back from a situation and actually improve the outcome of that situation. Because most other people are so ground up in what they want to do in the moment that they forget that, hey, there's some long-term planning or some things that I can actually do to accomplish, to make a difference in this thing that's angering me, or this thing that's angering society, or this thing that's happening. I'll give you an example. I was coming across a video on abortion and how they're still not allowing abortion to be legalized. And I'm someone that believes, people should have control over their body. But what am I going to do? Am I going to run around and tell people to emotionally that, they should really change this, and what the hell, what are they thinking? What are these politicians thinking? Whatever. What's the point? What's the point? There's a million other people doing that. No, what I'm going to do is get strong enough so that if something like this comes along when I'm older, then I'll have the resources to actually influence it. You know what I mean? A little long-term planning. Something a little different. Don't do what everyone else does. It's not necessarily the most efficient thing to do. The third thing is probably the hardest. I call it Batman training. And the reason I like talking about Batman in general is because he's this kind of godlike person, right? He has this ability to be super intelligent and also take action at the same time. It's empowering. So what does Batman training mean? Well, it really comes down to what you're doing on your own time. right? Are you exposing yourself to things that will allow you to act or react quickly all the time? Are you instead maybe going to the woods or meditating? Your mentality in a given situation will be influenced severely by your mentality all the time, right? This might be difficult for some people to grasp, but I'll tell you right now that if you prepare yourself all of the time for stressful situations, then when stressful situation comes, you'll be so much more prepared than the people that weren't doing that thing. So what does it mean to train yourself for a stressful situation? Well, there is something to be said about fasting, about taking cold showers, being in the heat, not complaining about it. Say if it's 60 degrees outside and you're used to 70 degrees. You have the option of standing outside for a little bit longer and not complaining about it, or you can stand outside and just go to the default, I'm cold. Are you helping anyone? Are you bringing up other people's mentality? Are you making your mentality stronger? Think about it. Do you sleep enough? Right? If you wake up in the morning with 4 hours of sleep, I promise you your capacity to handle anger and emotional turmoil in general, it's not going to be close. Not even close. You're not helping yourself. You don't have the physiology, you don't have the nutrition inside of you, the mental state all the time to try to help yourself in stressful situations, because you don't know when they're going to come up. And oftentimes those situations are also some of the most important, because if you're not there, if you don't have the state of mind and the calmness, then you can't necessarily expect someone else to have that either. Your usefulness in a situation really just comes down to your ability to look forward, to see what other people don't, right? What is your value in a group? Is it foresight? Or is it just immediately saying something off the top of your mind that really doesn't help anyone? Think about it. Think about it. I know it's hard. I understand. But here's the thing. Our society is struggling with these types of things significantly. Call-out culture, our inability to tolerate all of our social media that's giving us this instant click satisfaction type of stuff. It's really hurting us, in my opinion. You know, and a topic like this, where how to manage your anger and how to manage your emotions, it's deeper than just that instantaneous click, right? It comes down to really how you want to live. How do you want your life to turn out? How do you want people to feel when they're around you? You know? Things to think about. So it's okay. Be angry. Have the whole gamut of emotions. It's important to be a complete person. However, know how to dial it back. Know the things that will buffer it. And know that there's certain strategies that you can use in the moment that will help, that will make you look more mature than the people around you, potentially even people that are older than you. That'll make you more valuable in business scenarios and in coming up with ideas and being in a think tank. Your perception, your future sight, that is one of the most powerful tools that most wise human beings can have. So build it. Build it all the time if you can. I know it's hard work. I know. But if you don't do it, who's going to do it? You know? We have to learn and live with regrets. I've made so many errors in my life. And every day I try to correct them a little bit more, right? You have to forgive yourself. In order to understand how to change, you must know that you are human first. That you have the capacity to change. And that means forgiving yourself for stupid shit you do. So if you were especially mean to your parents or something the day before yesterday, or you said something mean to your spouse out of anger and out of emotion, dial it back. Think about the emotion. Think about why you're feeling that way. What it is about your past, or maybe things that you're doing that would make you feel that way, and try to solve those slowly in your head. Try to solve them and take a step back and eventually say to yourself, at least I'm trying to solve them, so I'm going to forgive myself. Okay? Don't do it again. Try not to do it again, but forgive yourself. It's important. It's important. If you're constantly either forgetting about when you're angry, or forgetting about a situation where you weren't really as graceful as you could have been, basically a lack of shame, or you're in a situation where you're really beating yourself up for something like days afterwards and just repeatedly apologizing to someone that may not deserve it, both those situations are going to not necessarily present you with the best mental health, the most emotionally intelligent growth. In life, it's super important to get up quickly. If you want to make these huge strides and change your life in some pretty fundamental ways, you gotta move. You gotta go. And what does that mean? When you fall, you get up. Sure, you might have a scrape on your knee or whatever. It'll heal. You'll be alright. I promise. We can inspire people by our actions. We don't live in microcosms. And when you get a control, when you get a handle over your anger, and someone sees that, you might change a life right there. So anyway, take care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed. There's a bunch of links in the description to my other social media. YouTube is my main thing. My intention is to spread messages of hope. Messages that will allow people to build their emotional intelligence a little bit, and maybe each one teach one, right? Maybe a little domino effect. So I'm trying to make a little community here. In a little while, I'm going to have monthly sessions with people. If you guys want to chat, and talk about some life stuff, some ideas, I'd be very curious to see what you guys are going through, and if I could give you my 2 cents on it. And it'll be completely free. Don't worry. It'll probably be on Instagram Live or something. We'll just chill out. Okay. So put in the comments down below if you'd be interested in something like that, or if you found anything interesting in this video. We need to start building communities, and we need to start taking accountability for ourselves. So let's do it. I'll be here to help you, okay? Take care. Please like, comment, and subscribe on my videos. It really helps out. And if you have any questions pertaining to this type of stuff, specific situations, obviously you can go and follow me on my Instagram and DM me. I'd be glad to get back to you. If you have any other things that you have in mind, any other videos that you'd want me to talk about, let me know. Just put it in there. Take care.